In today's video, I want to discuss how everything in your life must be transactional and nothing should be free, especially when it comes to your freedom as a woman, okay? Anytime a man, a person, anybody in any type of context comes along, or whether it be at your job, they want you to do more duties. If a man wants to marry you, wants to impregnate you, wants to date you, wants to sleep with you, any of these things, all of these things need to be transactional. Because when they're not transactional and you give up your freedom, your autonomy, or your time without being compensated, you're always going to end up in a position where you're going to be taken advantage of and you're going to be taken for granted, okay? And this is a lot of women's downfall because they give away their selves for free, okay? They give away their services for free. They give away their talents, their intellectual property for free for male validation, okay? And to enrich a man's life. Anytime a woman is a part of a man's life, you're literally enriching his life and putting him in a position where he can make more money, okay? When you look at all these men who, they say they're entrepreneurs and they did this on their own and all these things, they really didn't. Because there was a mother, an aunt, a sibling who was paying, their way while they were on the come up, while they were bums with no job, trying to figure something out. You know what I mean? They use these women as stepping stones to get where they want to be in life, but then they're going to come online and talk about how they did it all on their own and they're an entrepreneur and nobody helped them. Okay? Because this is men's nature. They look at women as a means to an end. If they know that they're trying to be an entrepreneur, they're trying to work on something, they know that they could find some dumb women who will stay with them in the name of love, under the guise of love, and they're going to stay at her house, stay in her basement until, eat the kids' snacks, okay, until it's time for him to spread his wings, until he's established himself and gone on his feet. Now, that woman, he doesn't claim her, he doesn't talk to her. He's going to go find the woman that he really wants because now he is in a position where he can have his own freedom. A lot of these men are using you as stepping stones to get to a certain place. A lot of people, companies, entities use you. Never give something for nothing. You are valuable. You are a person of value. Me personally, a job can't get nothing out of me for free, okay? Or add more duties to my role, which is something that just recently happened to me. Tried to add more duties to my role and not increase pay. I said, I don't want the role. I don't want the role because you guys are not paying me. What do I look like, a slave? Y'all are not finna enslave me. Those times are over. I'm free now. Shackle free, okay? And women forget that they are not in shackles. They forget that we have rights now. We can work. We can go on social media, build businesses and stuff like that. A lot of women forget this. Stop allowing people to use you for free. You in and of yourself are a commodity. You know why you're a commodity? Because you determine whether or not the population continues or not. And a lot of people forget this. A lot of women forget this. You are the value. You are the one who men chase. You are the one who, wars are started over. And people forget this. Me, I've never forgotten this. I've never forgotten this. A man wants to breathe in my space, fee. If he wants to do anything beyond that, fee. You know why? Because dealing with him is taking away from the time I could be investing in myself, investing in my business. You know what I mean? And yes, you could do the same thing at the same time, but unless a man is adding to that or enriching your life in some way, there's no reason for you to be with him. Okay? And you have to understand, when you have kids, when you get married, those are now a lot of people that you have to answer to. You have to answer to those children legally. You can't just leave the country. You don't have the same autonomy. And especially in the first year of that kid's life, their survival depends on you. So you're not able to leave the home. And this is the time where a lot of women get cheated on. This is the time where a lot of women get abused because they're vulnerable. And how are you going to fight back? You're going to bust your stitches. You can't get up and fight back and roundhouse kick him when he's trying to attack you. When he's out and cheating and doing the most and, still going to the gym, going around other women to deal with them and sleep with them and all these other things, what are you going to do in a vulnerable state of being a new mother? Do you understand? A lot of women don't understand that you cannot just give up your freedom for free. Anybody who wants to put a ring on your finger, anybody who wants to sleep with you, anyone who wants to take any of your resources, okay, and utilize you as a benefit needs to pay a fee. There needs to be a tangible benefit for them being in your life. This goes for friends, okay? And especially if you have something, if you have a platform, right? A big platform where you have a lot of reach, where you've built something for yourself on social media, where you've built a business on social media, or in general, right? Don't let people come into your life or friends or family say, hey, I could be the manager there, or hey, maybe we could do this and I could split this and this and that. No, absolutely not. And anytime anyone wants to do business with you, okay, anytime anyone wants you to do certain services, there needs to be a contract behind it that states the parameters of what each party is entitled to. If there's no contract and you're just out here doing things for free and then they end up screwing you have no ground to stand on because there's no papers behind it. Okay? When you have kids, you're giving up your freedom. Okay? And of course, yes, you can have nannies and all the things, and but you're vulnerable when you have children. You can't do whatever you want. Even if you're single and you have children, you still can't do whatever you want. As long as they're under 18, you are legally responsible. And if anything happens to them in your care, okay, or if you decide that you're just going to go one day, you're going to jail. Okay, you're literally going to jail. And men know this. This is why they hate to see child-free women. This is why they hate to see women that don't want children. Right? And they typically target single moms because they know single moms are vulnerable and they're likely struggling. And this is what I'm saying. Anytime you get married to a man, you're going to intertwine yourself financially and legally with a man. There needs to be papers explicitly stating, what each person is entitled to, what you expect during and after the marriage. Because marriage is a business. It's not about love. They tried to tell you it was about love, so you're more likely to give up your freedom, right? In the small fine print of marriage, it's giving up your freedom. Don't play with, especially if you're dealing with these men who are wealthy or financially, in a certain position. You need to have parameters, ironclad, in a contract that state, I get this. This is what it's going to be like during. And if it's not like this during, I'm out. It's not a game. And a lot of women use their wombs like it's a game. They give up their freedom like it's a game. They give up their bodies like it's a game. A lot of people want to critique the idea of being transactional in your relationships and say, oh, then what happened to genuine friendship and what happened to, real love? We live in a capitalistic, individualistic society. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I've said this so many times on my TikTok and people still want to argue with me. Oh, you can't just use people. It's not all about that. And that's fine. You can like somebody, you could genuinely like somebody, you could genuinely even love somebody, and that's great. But that doesn't matter. You need to eat. You need to make sure that you're protected at all times, because at the end of the day, it's a dog-eat-dog world and people are looking out for themselves. How many times do you hear stories of, best friends betraying, friends that they've been friends with for years? People are not to be trusted, which is why every relationship has to have some sort of benefit to it. You could still like that person and like them genuinely and care about them, but that can't be all that there is. There has to be something that is tangible where you can say, I'm friends with this person. Yes, I like them. Their personality, blah, blah, blah. They're reliable. Great. But they also are in the same line of business as me. We can work together and they can give me advice on, saving money and investments and hedge funds and all the things, and how to have a tax break on this for my business. They're also beneficial. We don't just kiki and kaka all day. Kiki and kakaing is for when you're in high school, when you're in primary school, on the damn playground. When you become an adult, okay, and you have bills and you have obligations, there's no more kiki and kakaing. This is real life, okay? And a lot of this generation grows up and they realize that, wow, it's expensive to live. The job market is a mess. These jobs want you to do backflips for minimum wage, okay? And it's humbling for a lot of people because they thought this shit was a game. And it's not a game. People do not care about you, okay? This is very serious. And because people don't care about you, this is why you need to protect your freedom and your autonomy so much. Because having kids is not casual. Getting married is not casual, despite how casual society has made it to be. I'm of the belief that pregnancy should have never been so frequent. I genuinely believe pregnancy was supposed to be rare. And I think, the patriarchal powers that be made it so that it was common to almost cheapen the sanctity of what pregnancy really is and what bringing a life into this world really is. Pregnancy should be very, very rare because there are very, very few men that deserve to even have the capability to continue their lineage. Very few, okay? Most men don't have leadership qualities despite what we were taught, okay? And a lot of women don't even have leadership qualities. Behind every successful man, there's always a woman behind there working as the brains, or there's always a woman who had to suffer in order for a man to prosper. And a lot of times these women, these come-up women, don't even get the benefits of that man prospering. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the things that you have to think about when you're being all willy-nilly with your decisions and you're just wanting to get married and get cuffed to someone just for the social status of it, just for the wedding, just because you love them and you like the look of the ring. That's great, okay? But what is this doing for me long term? And honestly, women, especially in this economy, you should not be even fathoming marriage or procreation if certain boxes aren't checked. For me personally, the only way I'm ever bringing life onto this earth is in a very specific scenario. And if that scenario is not in place, I'm not doing it. And I'm going to be child-free and single for the rest of my life. And I'm very serious about that because I've seen what being frivolous with your womb does. I've experienced, certain things in my life that have informed me, girl, do not do it. Do not even play around with these men. Do not play around with these men because it's not a game. Think about your freedom. How much is your freedom worth to you? If you really don't care about yourself, then great, have kids with whoever you love in your, buttfuck ass town. But think of the consequences of that. You know what I mean? You should not be procreating with certain men of a certain tax bracket. You just should not be. It's foolish. And especially, and it's less about the tax bracket. It's more about what kind of man is he? Does he understand his position? Is he masculine? Is he a leader? Is he measly? You have to ask all these questions. Is he strong? Can he protect me? What if somebody breaks in? Is he gonna throw me and the baby in front of him to catch the bullets before him? Do you know what I mean? These are things that you have to ask. Anytime your freedom can be hindered, you have to, so anytime there's any sort of risk to your freedom, right? Or to your use of time, there needs to be a charge and there needs to be a contract behind that charge that obligates the other party who is soliciting you to do certain things that, okay, this needs to be in place, otherwise I'm not doing it, period. Contracts are everything in this world, okay, literally. And if it doesn't say in the contract, then it didn't happen and it wasn't never something that you requested. So this is why it's so important. Always have a contract behind things. Your freedom is not free. If someone wants to have kids with you, oh, so are you interested in having kids? Yeah, that's great that you're interested in having kids, but how are you going to protect me in that situation? I expect a push present. I expect this, whatever your parameters are, okay? Whatever your parameters are, but it has to be financial parameters because these men will, do you know how many men stay the entire pregnancy? As soon as the baby comes, he's out. He dips like ranch. Do you want that to be you? Now your freedom is hindered. Now it's going to be hard for you to do what you need to do at work or elevate at work because now you have somebody to think about. Are you ready to sacrifice your freedom? Are you ready to, be married and be intertwined legally with a man when you don't even have an ironclad prenup, when you don't even have certain things in place? If you know that you want kids and a husband, that means he needs to buy a house, right, with your name on it, okay, to put the kids and the family in with the dogs. Where are you gonna have the kids and the family? What are we getting married about? Where's the house with my name on it? Do you see what I'm saying? And people think that's unrealistic. Oh, how is a man of this generation? I don't know. That's their business. They're a man. I thought y'all were the leaders. Okay? Y'all are not leaders. Obviously, if you can't do that, and he's not worth procreating with if he cannot figure it out. Don't be at these jobs being desperate and allowing them to put all these extra duties on you for free. Okay, if you're an influencer and a brand wants to do work with you, these brands, they like to do gifted collab, gifted collab, gifted collab. No, how much are you paying me? If you don't want to pay me, goodbye. Goodbye. Do you understand? You have to be very strict with your boundaries. Don't let people take advantage of you. Don't let your freedom and self-sacrifice is not free. It comes with a big fee. And this is the mindset that a lot of women need to take on because it's not a game. Okay, there are women in their 70s who don't realize this until their 70s. And now they're regretting their children because their children don't visit them and everybody's waiting for them to die so they can take what you worked for. Do you want that? Do you want that kind of lifestyle? If not, then you need to start from now, understanding that at the end of the day, everything is transactional. Everything needs to have a price to it. Everything needs to be a mutual benefit. And if it's not, don't do it. Your freedom is not free. Your freedom costs. When you do a sneaky link, what are you risking? When you're rolling around on the air mattress with a broke man, what are you risking? You could possibly get pregnant. You could possibly get a venereal disease that you can't get rid of. Everyone knows that these STDs, they're getting real incurable, and the antibiotics are not antibioticing. Okay, that's a risk. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? What am I doing? The stakes need to be high anytime you're sacrificing your time or your body. Anytime your body or your time is sacrificed, the stakes need to be high for you to be making that sacrifice. And the stakes need to be financial stakes.